that's always very exciting to make something happen. Even if it's a small thing or one new piece or a concert somewhere in a small village, but something nice and together with a group work on something. And that's what I want to keep doing. And every time something else or something new. And yeah, probably in 10 years I'm still doing that.
Nice.
It's not you know, there's different ways of putting goals for yourself. In the beginning, it's because also what I said, you all need a job to live from. In your study time, you said your goal is very concrete. It's a job. And now the goals are more, in a way, more idealistic. It's more you want to do nice things, and that's never enough of them. That's never finished. It's not if I've that composer to write me a piece, then I'm done. No, it's of course that composer will be great, but then there will be another one, and there will be something else to play. There's always something nice to create with music. And one of the big goals what we have with the trombone collective also, that's also for me personal, is to show people that trombone is a nice instrument. Still not enough people know. Of course every orchestra plays every year 5 to 10 violin concertos and 5 to 10 piano concertos, everybody knows. But trombone is always seen as with the tuba you have the same problem. It's always seen as an orchestral instrument, sitting in the back, and it has to be really loud, and then we ask them maybe on the street with carnival, and that's it. But people know of the instrument. And in one way that's a big disadvantage, because it's not obvious to program trombone in a recital or trombone ensemble in a recital. But on the other hand, it's a big opportunity, because it gives you room to surprise people. If finally people are in a trombone concerto or in a trombone group or a brass group concert, you can surprise them how nice it can be. And they can be really going on. I never had the feeling this is possible with a group of trombones or a group of brass players. So that's also a great opportunity to create new things. Well, violin it's more difficult to create something new that's never done. So that's what the big goal is, to let people hear that trombone is not like an instrument to make noise with, but it's actually a musical instrument that you can do very nice things with. So that's and that's never ended. I think that's as long as if you will do this kind of job because you have like a goal in what job you get or what position or what status or whatever, then at some point you have that position and all your ambition is gone because you have what. But if the ambition you have is for the music, for that it's nice to create something in a hall, there are people, it is you create some sounds and people get hopefully interested and want to hear that. This communication through sound, through air, that's something that's very, very very interesting and something that I will get never enough of, I think.
So you were a student at the Rotterdam Conservatory, and now you're a teacher at the same conservatory. You know, having been a student, now a teacher here in the Netherlands, is there anything you would change about how music is taught in the conservatories?
Many things. But
what's number one?
That's a dangerous field. I don't know who's gonna.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, because I really believe there's many things wrong in the way. Of course, we are lucky in Western Europe that we have this classical music comes from, not especially Holland, but this whole area of Western Europe. So we have a huge tradition, and we have an orchestra like Concertgebouw Orchestra and Rotterdam Philharmonic, and even more Radio Philharmonic, The Hague. Great orchestra. But if we will keep going like we are now, in 50 years, we have to learn from Venezuela how to teach classical music, or from Japan or from China. Because I think there's not enough like music taught to young children. How do you call it in English? Anyway, I think it should be that every child in the primary school gets to do in a way with music and with sports. And maybe with a little bit of dance or art in general. And that's all, the money for that is taken away in schools. So some schools do it because they like to do it. And of course people who are interested in music, they will probably have, maybe have a little bit money and they can send their children to a music school, but it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So it becomes more and more an elite thing. And that will, in the end, our audience will go away and that will break down everything. So I think there should be, many orchestras are doing now education projects, and every ensemble orchestra is doing that on their own, but there should be just a national education project. All the money that every orchestra by themselves are investing in going to one school is one group of children, but it should be all together and going to all children, all schools. I think, on the other hand, it's dangerous to say, I don't want colleagues to lose their jobs, but I think there's too many conservatories in Holland.
Every city, there's a conservatory.
10, 11, 12, I don't know exactly, because and they are sort of working together with others, so officially it's 5, 6 institutes. But there's not enough work and not enough good students for all those institutions. So I believe that we should have 3, 4 major institutions in Holland that would probably, but you can argue about that, but Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, Utrecht, which then people start to protest because that's only in the West.
Yeah.
But I think the task of a conservatory, what is now a conservatory in Groningen or in Enschede or in Maastricht, that there is a big task for those. You don't have to close those buildings and stop doing things, but the task should be before 18. All the talented people of the whole region, from 10 to 12 until they're 18, there should be the focus of those schools, I think.
Okay.
Making them as good as ready to go to a conservatory, and then Holland is so small. I mean, if you're in Juilliard, you probably live 1 hour away because otherwise you can't afford it. And you go every day by subway to your school. 1 hour of Amsterdam is Groningen.
Yeah.
Or 1.5. But you know the distances are so small that you should not try to divide the money in so many places that every place has not enough money to do it really well. And if we go on like this, slowly we all those 10 because we get less and less and less money, and in the end maybe 5 will go bankrupt. You have 5 left, but they are also how do you call it in English? They have not enough money to do it well. So if you would have the guts at one day to decide, but it's a big thing, and I like all my trombone teach colleagues in Groningen and Enschede, so I don't want anybody to lose a job, but if we're going to have the guts to say, we keep the budget for the next 10 years how it is, but we close a few schools, we move that budget, maybe even with the teachers, or nobody has to lose any job, but we put it all together and give the schools that are there more money, then all the talent is more together. You learn so much from your colleagues. If you have a talented clarinet player and you hear, oh, you think that's possible in trombone, you have a trumpet player. So all the talented people are more together. And you have more money to do master classes, to do orchestra projects, to ask good conductors to do the orchestra projects, to have something really good. But that's probably not going to happen in Holland. At some point, you know, you have this, I don't know if you know about it, this Sistema in Venezuela.
It's the Bolivar Orchestra.
Yeah, Bolivar Orchestra. And I don't want, there is a lot of things to say against politics in Venezuela, and they use sometimes this system a bit as propaganda, so I don't want to have anything to do with it. But I was last week in Peru, and there was a trombone ensemble from this system, 14 trombone players, fantastic players, fantastic. And they are all young, coming from this system. The only idea is that they have free instruments and free music lessons when they're young.